Hello, welcome. My name is Coco, and here are 18 unfortunate things that happened in my life. Born into a traditional Chinese family as a daughter, my gender put me at a disadvantage. I was taught to not dress a certain way, to not talk to male strangers, to not lead men on. Just a continuous list of no's to avoid the single most terrible thing that can happen to a girl: rape. But my brothers weren't taught to not rape. For the rest of my life, I would be chained to rules and expectations that my two elder brothers are not, which confused me quite a bit. I have club thumbs. They're weird and undesirable. And I'm the only person in my extended family of 3 generations to have them. This might clue you in on the type of luck I have. Age 3, I was chasing my brother with a stick in our farm, but of course he was running faster than me. And I lost my balance and tumbled off of the hill and into a small pond. I was engulfed in the water and struggling to keep my head above, wiggling my arms. Fortunately, my dad was there, and he jumped in to the water that reached up to his waist and rescued me. At age 4, I plopped into the deep end of a pool without knowing how to swim because I was feeling left out since my brothers and cousins were swimming. I was rescued once again, but this time by my aunt, who was fortunately by the poolside. I was 5 when I got bit by a dog for playing with her puppies. My paternal grandfather chewed some leaves that was growing around. It apparently had healing properties. And then he proceeded to put them on my bite mark. The bite didn't leave a scar, but the shot I got to prevent rabies did. And that's what this little circle on my thigh is. Age 6, I was running after my brother to a store. I slipped on the moss that was growing and I hit my head against the edge of a gutter. I went to the hospital to get 4 stitches, and I didn't cry on the way or at the hospital until the doctor started sewing me up. This accident left a scar on my brow bone, and it makes me feel unconfident in the way my eyebrows look. I jumped off a tractor because my brother forced me to when I was 7 for not sparring with him with a bamboo stick. And of course, I landed on the pavement with my chin, for which I had to get 3 stitches, and I don't think I cried at all for this one, even though the doctor didn't provide any anesthetic. I was 8 while pretending to run like a dog on all 4s with my cousins. And of course, I ran too fast and I bumped into a steel lock in the exact same place that I had my previous eyebrow scar. While learning how to ride a motorcycle, I lost control of the engine and I fell to the ground, and the motorcycle just kept spinning, and that seriously injured and scarred all 4 of my limbs because it was rubbing against the rocks and the gravel. And I still have scars to show. I started the process of getting my braces when I was around 10. I would eventually get them taken off way too soon and then have to get them back again in high school in sophomore year. So I try to put on my retainers as often as I can because I'm cursed with teeth that shifts back to their original position quickly, even after years of having braces. I was 11 when I started developing trichotillomania. It's an impulsive, compulsive disorder where someone pulls out their hair. In addition to trich, I also had dermatillomania, which means that I would pick at my skin. It began in Chinese school because it would bore me to death, so I looked for distractions and I noticed the little hair that I had on my knuckles and I started plucking them out. That turned into eyebrow hair pulling, where I didn't have eyebrows for the longest time. And that turned into pulling at my eyelashes, but since I don't have much to begin with, I now pull out hair from my head, even though I still pull out hair from other places from time to time. And that puts a huge negative impact on my mental and physical health. Age 12 was when I started chewing ice. My favorite was the type that would break easily and it would be crunchy. Needless to say, this habit was bad for my teeth and it also caused problems with my skin. Acne. I had really terrible acne, and the fact that I had dermatillomania certainly didn't help. I was so embarrassed of my face that was littered with active pimples and dark scars from when I would pick at them. I was 14 when I injured myself on a zip line in Thailand, in Chiang Mai, for going upside down and spreading my legs too wide that it rubbed against the other zip line. You can't see it much here because of the lighting, but it was a really deep scar and it caused a flesh burn because of the high speed the zip line was going at. I was 15 when I started developing my binge eating disorder. I was stressed and unhappy, and my family has an abundance of food lying around. And since we eat family style and we like to eat freshly cooked food for each meal, I would be forced to finish all the food at the end of each meal. So I didn't have the button that would tell me when I was full. I depended on visual cues. I think I was 16 when I started to develop signs of depression. It was a difficult and confusing time. And it's still something that I struggle with today, where I would not have the motivation to do anything. And then the days would begin to blur together because I just wouldn't get out of bed for days at a time. The year that my self-worth would be dependent on how much other people wanted me. 18, the year that I gave myself an impromptu stick and poke tattoo. All the things that have happened in my life has been things that I have no control over, and they mostly all left scars on my body, but this is the one situation where I got to choose what it would look like. And it's a heart on my wrist, and that's usually where sleeves end, and I didn't really think about it while I was getting it, but looking back, it's fitting because I habitually displays my feelings openly. So now, every day, I'm literally wearing my heart on my sleeve. And that might be a bad thing, but that's what I do, and that's who I am. And I don't really want to change that at all.